Good morning, Anambra, and now we are about to talk a very sensitive matter that concerns us as a people and of course our future, which looks so bleak with what we are seeing today in the society. On the program this morning, we have this topic, sex tape, preventing our children from negative influences. And the guests are Onyi Edokwe is the coordinator, Young Couples Forum. Good to have you once again, Onyi.
Thank you. It's good to be here again.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
I also have Chidozie Nnabo.
Chizoba.
Okay, Chizoba Nnabo, President, Civilization of Love Foundation. Good to have you, sir.
Thank you for having me. Welcome, viewers.
All right. Now, Onyi, let me begin with you. As a mother that is very close to children, we know every mother seems to be the closest pal to the kids. How would you, what's your assessment of that sex tape that really, got the whole world trembling, about the level of our bleakness of our future?
Honestly, man, what I saw in the whole thing, it's a mother that is not there. A mother that doesn't even know her child, or maybe she's pretending. Do you understand me? Because I believe that if the woman, assuming she knew much about her daughter, no matter the convention, she will not come out to even say anything. So it's caused, that video, that tape that came out is a wake-up call to parents to make themselves available for their children. Because it's not just that particular one. After some days, we began to see so many other videos, clips. To the extent that the mother, she wasn't aware that the young girl, that she's in Instagram, Twitter, and other social media network platforms, and she was busy downloading video clips of herself doing so many other things. The sex tape was the climax of the whole thing. So it shows nobody is there. She's not being watched. She has an absentee mother. That's my take in the whole thing.
All right. Immediately after that video and all the comments coming from around the world, some people started doubting actually whether the girl is 10 years. And even after that, I saw a video of some adults that made a video where they were just swimming on the floor, said that since children have refused to play children's play, let them play it for them. So I don't know, who do we blame?
Well, the family principally is to be blamed. Just like Onyi rightly said, parenting is an apostolate of presence. Parenting means you have to be there for your child. Parenting begins even from the womb. When the child is born, and you carry on until the child, until the mother dies or the father dies. So the parents are the foremost and the primary educators of their children. Because the parents didn't do a good job, what happened, happened. So parents are to be blamed. Then again, the school authorities, of course, they have their own share of the blame, and even the government generally. Because the school authority, it's very important for us to recognize the fact that the school authority to whom parents entrust their children are custodians, they are trustees. They are supposed to take good care of the children. If they were not negligent along the line, in the performance of that duty, that thing wouldn't have happened. Again, on the part of the government.
Because they would have noticed something.
They would have noticed or suspected something going on.
Okay, now the sex tape has come out. The schools that were shut and the schools were actually reopened, according to a report I had yesterday, that the government has given order for all the schools, because they have schools in so many areas in Lagos. They've been asked to their schools. What to do is to forestall a future. What to do is prevent this. It brings me, what actually, I think at this point we need to understand is it as a response to
parenting. It's said it's core. It's more of discipleship. It's something that you start from when the child is from the womb, is in the womb. And I'll tell you, if you know you will not be there for a child, if you know you will not be able to take care of that child and parent that child, don't bring that child forth in the first instance. Do you understand me? Because parenting means being there for the child, nurturing the child, taking care of the child, providing for the child, guiding the child, protecting the child. Do you understand me? Teaching the child and mentoring the child. It's not just giving birth, giving food, taking to school. It's a whole lot of things. Most importantly, nurturing that child. So, for you to bring forth a responsible adult, it has to be from parenting. And parenting, I know, is not only the biological parents. Every adult around a child needs to be involved in the parenting. And I think that was how we grew up. When every mother looks after every child. You see a child doing something that is not wrong, that is wrong. If it calls for advising that child, you advise, call to order. If it calls for beating, you beat that child reasonably. Do you understand me? I've witnessed my mother take a child to the hospital. She was watching somewhere and she saw a child conversing in the streets. And she picked up the child, rushed, took him to the clinic down the street. You see mothers running around the child, trying to open the child's mouth and then give attention to a child that the mother is not even around. So whenever there's an adult around, you'll be rest assured that my child will be well taken care of. If only we can go back to that era. In parenting too, teachers, they are not only there as teachers. School, they are there to parent the children also. If the parents are not in the school and those children that are living in boarding house, automatically you become their guardian. And what do you do as a guardian? You start doing the duty of the parents. What do? You parent the children. But unfortunately, we're in a society whereby the school try to protect the image of the school rather than the children. The image of the school, because it is no longer about nurturing children, it's not about business enterprise. What they do is to protect the school at all costs. They don't care if a child dies on the process, if they bring out miscreants, whatever they produce, as long as you have para A's in your WAEC results. That's what they're after. The moral of the children counts not amount as in doesn't matter to them to a very large extent. Do you understand me? Those days you have schools that want to bring decent women. They will come and tell you at the assembly, do you know this commissioner for women affairs, this commissioner for education? She's a product of that secondary school. Why are they telling you all that? When Chimamanda Adichie published one of her novels then, they brought they came to our school telling us about Chimamanda, motivating us to do something like that. But these days, that's not what you see. What are they looking out for? The school that I was, where is the best school? The school that pays the highest fee, the school that will iron school uniform for the children, the school that serve food in bouquet, the school that are doing beautiful nonsense. Do you understand me? So it's no longer about parenting the children, guiding the children. So parenting is not all about it's not only the biological parents, but the school, the church, the neighbors, until we learn to get it, understand that it's not only it's not parenting is all about the biological parents.
That goes going back to the Igbo parlance that
Exactly.
Okay, now we will all agree that we are in the 21st century, and parenting this 21st century, needs a lot to be, a lot of work. There's a lot of work there. How do you think we can go about it in achieving the kind of parenting that we'll live to be proud of tomorrow? In this 21st century, how do we go about it? Because a lot of people complain, we're too busy, you work in a bank, your husband works in a bank, you're doing business, early in the morning you've left the house. How do you think we can go about it this 21st century to achieve the kind of parent or the kind of children will raise and will live to be proud of them tomorrow?
Okay. First of all, there is need for adequate preparation for marriage. Many young people go into marriage without getting information about the serious business of marriage. Some think that marriage is just a casual thing. It is not. And then there is also the need for ongoing information for married couples. The churches can help in this regard, And then also, there are so many other ways. We've talked about parenting, and it's very important for us to, mention here that being a biological mother or father does not confer on one the status of a parent. A parent is one who actually parents, and it's a shared responsibility between the father and the mother. It is not just a responsibility for the mother alone. Also, there is need for the parents to engage in business that will give them the time to take care of their children. What we see these days is that the mother and the father dash out every morning and come back late in the night, condemning their children to orphans of living parents. Yes, orphans of living parents. Their parents are alive, but they are orphans. No one to take care of them. So it's a problem. And we need to have, parents who are present at all times with their children. There are other strategies that we can, employ to ensure that children are well guided, in life. In our traditional society, there is this family meal, a family eat together. That thing is very important. We need to recapture that fast eroding value. It's very important because during family meal binds the family together, and the parents have the opportunity, to understudy the children and know who is greedy and who is not, and then you observe them closely, Then also we should try to create digital boundaries, saying that the media is causing, there are, of course, media is wonderful, but there are certain negative influences that we need to curtail in our homes. So we need to establish clear digital, boundaries in our homes, like not operating your phone during meal, like not having television in the rooms. We have central television, and also the time to shut off gadgets, as well as this what is it called? This software, that is used to make sure that you mentioned it earlier. This
Okay, you monitor
the software.
Okay, you used to monitor their activities online.
Yes, or to prevent them from getting into adult sites.
Okay.
Parental guide.
Parental guide is very important. That will put all these things in place.
All right, the program is still Good Morning Anambra, looking at how we can prevent our children from negative influences. I have Onyinye Edokwa in the studio, and of course Chizoba Nabo. We take a short break here to feel the pulse of the masses who return, and we look at what age is appropriate to give a child an Android phone. That and more when we return.
When you're hustling or when you're too busy, you should also take time for your family. Because when you leave it for the school, oh, my child is going to a good school, I interviewed the teachers and they are doing well, they can take care of my kids. We discover that they are not doing anything because what they are working for is to get paid. So you should also go back home and then take care of the children. Look into their activities. Invite their friends over to the house. Chat with them, get to know your children better. Not just say because you put them in a good school, they are doing well. So
parents should just make sure they keep an eye, very close watch on their children, the things they see, most especially their phones. Because I think internet has a very big way to influence children from all these things. So they just keep a close eye on them, whatever they do, the things they do, and how they do their things.
There's no specific system that works, but it's still important to note that you should discipline our children. A child that wants to get smart, some people say it's about denying their internet. Internet exposes people to a whole variety of things, positively and negatively, depending on how that child is disciplined to do the right thing. Being able to train a child is not forcing the child to do the right thing, but making the child understand he or she must always choose the right path.
She bound to phone. No more 18-20 years I got to use phone. Makanonya tielo mazi anya na akuna. Never so chaba. We will long with the phone as Gariaba.
I believe that children become what they become. So they didn't pick it up from anywhere. It starts from the home. It starts from what they are being exposed to. So I think generally parents should be careful about what children, indulge themselves, what they see. Because that's right. I have a 10-year-old at home, not my child. But I think back to this story and they were telling me who this was. It's because he saw it somewhere. So what do you expose your child to? What do they watch? You're watching a TV and they're sitting down there. Really, that's where it starts. And so that's right. And then two, you should try to, there is this affirmations. Speak to your kids. Like, this is wrong. It's not, once the child is 8, you should expose them to all of this. Let them know, oh, this is wrong, this is right.
Nne na nna akpọkọ ụmụaka anyị ha ndọba ọjọọ ekwuoyi n'ụtụtụ ekwuoyi n'abalị ọ kasị na uwe ha na-eyi akwa ha na-eyi na ị na-afụ nwa agbọghọbịa ụdị tait pata na-eyi n'ime oyijere na-agagharị ifu na onwe ka na-akpọ regis oyi tụtụtụ shepu ahụ nwaanyị niile ọkpatacha mụ ahụ nwaanyị adịghị nwe ya anya nke ihe na-eme.
All right, we've heard from the masses concerning the issue at hand. Actually, there was one woman that said, "Izocha phone azugalia," and stuff like that. And these are some of the challenges that the 21st century parents face. Now, Onyinye, I don't know, how do we actually find out if some children that are already seeing things that they are not comfortable with, because these kids sometimes they try to hide some things, or they feel that when they come up with some things, you scold them in a manner. So that kind of, they try to hide or some things they've already seen. How do we find out if some children that are into some funny moves and some that are seeing some things but have not really gone into it fully?
Thank you very much. Do you know, that is why it is important that you are there in the first instance. Do you understand me? That is why it's very, very important that we are there from the scratch. That you become their friends from early stage. That you get to know them from early stage. That is when you know when there is changes. And when they start behaving funny, or when they start hiding things, or when there is things that are there, that is beginning to be there, which wasn't there before. Do you understand me? That's why, again, as a parent, you don't neglect any sign. Don't neglect any sign. Do you understand me? Be sensitive enough. It's better that you assumed and finally it turns out that you are wrong than you overlook it and then at the end of the day it turns out that there is something there actually. If your child is the one that is always lively, the child is the bubbly type and all that, we're not going to take out the fact that adolescent stage has a way of changing them. Do you understand me? But even if you are following that child every step all the way, you even know the one that adolescent is bringing in. Do you understand what I'm saying now? At every point in time, the child is always all over you. He is free, she is free with you. And at some point, if you only go too much privacy, more some things. Do you understand me? It's time for you to ask questions. Upon what all of a sudden, also upon a year, 2 years, be deeper too fond of an adult or somebody. Wait to Anyagane. No, a child, all of a sudden, be the adult. Even say, go to him or go to another or not. Do you understand me? Don't hush that child. When your child not like school, don't push her or him to go to school. Find out
what is happening.
Yes. When a teacher, be it female or male, started showing too much interest in your child, wait to why the sudden interest? Do you understand me? Teacher is a teacher a lot, or even neighbor. Bido making you be. Or too much privacy, mob not on a room, mob not your do. Do you understand me? Wait to Anya. Or bolon can why? Mob for the too conscious of where on a mirror and nature, or you left for nowhere. Some of that comes with adolescent. Do you understand me? But even at that, wait to Anya again. Anne. If we know we are Tobago, you thought too much. Do you understand me? It could be that somebody got a gear name Maloma. It could be no way come on put a person that's will ulterior motive. We can book our friends and I compare you can find shape. Hey, imenka. As a mother, that's when to begin to tell her na imakwaloma shape gimakwaloma, but look at the implication. It means na kita kumu again ebe kwa ganya. And if you fall for them, look at the implication. You don't keep her from the fact that she's a beautiful girl. She's growing up to be a beautiful girl. If you do that, there's danger in that.
Okay.
Do you understand me? If you deny the fact that she's a beautiful girl, there's danger in that. What you do is to acknowledge as the parents. Tell her you are beautiful. Do you know what that does? It puts self-confidence and self-worth, self-confidence and self-worth in her. So that when somebody will come with the seats, your child, no, my mother said I'm beautiful. So you're telling me that I'm beautiful. You're not telling me anything that I don't know. Do you understand me? Then because you've taught her, that's where sex education comes in. Because you've taught her, do you know what she will do? She will not be at, okay, hey, you've told me I'm beautiful. Hey, what next? My mother said that once they tell me I'm beautiful, they are out for something. So what are you up to? Do you understand me? Teach her how to defend herself. Make her your friend. Tell her that you will defend her. Because what they will do is to tell the child, if you tell her, I'll kill you. Nobody is going to kill them. he's threatening her or she's threatening her that she's going to kill her because he's afraid too. Do you understand me? Then another thing for you to watch out is that idea of, hey, my wife, gonna those days when you call a child my wife, my husband, I will shun you because the days are evil. On by the obere, and I say, yeah, my wife, we will laugh over it. If somebody comes and call your little baby girl, hey, my beautiful wife, shun that person. Do you understand me? Because the days are evil. All right. So the summary is that parents need to be there, pay attention, don't neglect anything, don't neglect any sign, and then, most importantly, teach them, be free with them, call everything the name as it says.
All right, now, we know we are in the 21st century and parenting is not that easy. Some people are of the view that it doesn't really mean to give children phones, Android or whatever. So what age do you think it's proper for a child to own a phone?
A child in tertiary institution. Yes. What is a child in secondary school or primary school doing with Android phone? If the person needs anything, he or she should go to the mother or father and use the phone to maybe do assignment or make calls, and not the person having his or her own phone.
All right, quickly, the way forward, how do we prevent these children from negative influences?
Well, I want to emphasize the issue of sexuality education. Sexuality education is very important, that parents take it seriously. It is the responsibility of parents to give sexuality education to their children. It is not the school's responsibility or any other person's responsibility. A mother is supposed to give her daughters sexuality education, while the father should give the boys that education, and well ahead of time, so that you tell them what to expect at every stage of their development. For instance, you tell a boy that at puberty, he will be experiencing erection, wet dreams, and the rest of them, so that he will be prepared. You prepare him ahead of time. And then the mothers, will tell the daughters a lot of things they need to know about menstruation, so that when it comes, it will not be embarrassing to the child. And also this issue of, some women have painful menstruation. And out there, some people who want to take advantage of girls tell them that, once you break your virginity, the pain will cease.
And that the pimple on your face is because you are still a virgin.
Yes, and that the pimples you have is simply because you are a virgin. So mothers need to educate their daughters well ahead of time.
All right, quickly, Onyi, what do we do, to prevent them?
Hey, Maya, this is a very inexhaustible.
In a second, we don't have time, we're rounding off.
I think I will say, we've said all that needs to be said. It's now time to tell parents to be a role model. If you look at all the video, most of the video clips that are flying around, you see adults, mothers videoing their children, or mothers doing something and their kids are copying them. And so let mothers, unfortunately, so many untrained, unguided young girls are becoming mothers. But for the sake of the children, even if you are not trained, you know what is good and what is bad. For the sake of those children and for the sake of their futures, let parents struggle to be role model, good role models for the children.
Thank you very much. We could go on and on, but time is no longer a friend here. Very big thanks to Chizoba Nabo. Thank you. You are the President, Civilization of Love Foundation. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Oni, Coordinator Young Couples Forum. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so very much.
And that's how we wrap up the show this morning. My name is Nonya Wokoye. Tomorrow is another day. Bye for now.